A 2-year-old out of Texas fell into a deep drain at her daycare, and she was trapped inside of water filled with fecal matter while the teacher lied, and this was for an hour. The children's parents are now suing a Texas daycare after their 2-year-old daughter fell into a 7-foot drain filled with literal crap outside of the daycare facility. She was trapped for an hour before anyone attempted to notice. The little girl was a student at Children's Lighthouse, or CLH, which is in Prosper, and Prosper is a suburb of Dallas. On November 1st, she was outside with other children that afternoon, playing around the playground when she fell in the drain. It was said that the cover was either flipped back over or either replaced after she fell inside and that trapped her in the drain. Can you even imagine? Reportedly, the cover of the drain said, "Danger, do not enter, fatal poison gas." The lawsuit states that the defendants or the daycare workers were responsible for ensuring that the daycare's property was safe, especially knowing full well that 2 to 6 children were present and active on that property. It was said at some point before 4 o'clock p.m. the teacher took the children inside and left the child, who has been identified as AB, inside that covered hole to fend for herself. Then at 4:01 p.m., a minute later, that teacher or another daycare employee then signed the little girl out of the classroom. Guess why? Because she wasn't there and no one bothered to look around for her. They just assumed she had left. It was said that an automatic email was then sent to the little girl's parents saying that the child had been checked out of the room. So the dad then called the daycare and asked why she wasn't present in another room. Reportedly, a person who was believed to be the owner of the daycare named Angela Wolf then blamed that email on a glitch in the system. Lies. She then told the man that her daughter was 100% there. So the father reportedly thought that was strange, so he called his wife, or the little girl's mom, and asked her to go check everything out. That is when they think the employees actually realized, oh, she's missing. The lawsuit then states that despite knowing that the toddler was indeed missing, an employee with the initials of CLH and the owner, Angela Wolf, never even called 911 or authorities to report her missing. It was said it was completely plausible that someone had kidnapped her off the property of the daycare. The father then received another call from the daycare employees stating that they had found his daughter after she had fallen into a drain next to the splash pad. Attorneys have stated that quote, drain was more like a septic tank. They said it was a big, watery, swampy mess full of fecal matter and all kinds of other things unreal. It was also said that the toddler was submerged in that mess up to her neck. An attorney reportedly stated that luckily it was not deeper, or we would be dealing with a fatality of a child. Reportedly, when the parents went to pick up the little girl, she was freezing cold, she was shivering, her lips were blue. And this was despite the fact she had been out of the drain for quite some time. But guess what? The daycare never even called emergency services to come check her out. Absolutely unacceptable. The lawsuit states that the drain should have been fenced off due to the warning of the poisonous gas, and that the fact that a small child could fall inside. Employees reportedly tried to cover this up, so they took the dad out to the drain and tried to show him that it was covered, but he was able to lift the lid of the drain with little to no effort. After all this, the parents took her to a hospital for an evaluation. Now listen to this. To begin with, the daycare workers lied and said the little girl was only in the drain for like 5 or 10 minutes. However, more investigation proved that she was trapped for an hour. The parents' attorneys were also able to get text messages that were exchanged between the daycare workers. The teacher who found the little girl called the situation really, really effed up. You think? She said when the dad called, she went looking for the little girl. She said in one of the texts that she went over to the drain and she could hear the little girl screaming like crazy. Then, as if all that wasn't bad enough, the workers couldn't even reach her, so they had to get a parent to help them get her out. The teacher then wrote in a text that the child was covered in shit. Those were her words. And that she was pale and blue and peeing out dirty water. Unbelievable. And lastly, again, as if all that wasn't bad enough, that owner, Angela Wolf, then sent out an email to parents trying to mislead them. And the lawsuit says that there were several things she misstated or just left out intentionally. Of course she did. Reportedly, since the incident, a fence has been installed around the drain, and the teacher who was responsible for the child's care that day was terminated on that day. Luckily, the lawsuit said that the daycare was negligent in training employees and that they failed to properly secure the drain lid, and that all led to the little girl's injuries in the incident. They are asking for an unspecified amount of damages, and quite frankly, I hope they get it all. Here's my thing. Maybe it would have been a little bit different had the daycare handled it appropriately from the get-go and not lied. Plus, they should have been extremely careful with things like this, knowing there were toddlers on that property playing. Anyway, good luck to the toddler's family. I hope that you get every single dime you are asking for. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and for more content, be sure to give me a follow, and if you're on YouTube, click subscribe.